Yes, 5 weeks today, the 150th Open gets underway here at the home of golf, a place steeped in tradition and history, a far cry from the mawkish money grab taking place 350 miles south of me today. But as soon as the first ball was hit in this Saudi Golf Series, we expected a response from the PGA Tour, and now we've got it. I've just been handed this statement and I'm going to read out parts of it to you. It's addressed to the PGA Tour members, i.e. the players. And it says, I wish to provide you with an update and share information regarding the current and former PGA Tour players who are participating this week in London. He says, Jay Monahan, we have followed tournament regulations from start to finish in responding to those players who have decided to turn their backs on the PGA Tour by willfully violating a regulation. Simultaneous to you receiving this memo, the players listed below are being notified that they are suspended or otherwise no longer eligible to participate on the PGA Tour. The same fate holds true for any players who participate in future Saudi Golf League events in violation to our regulations. Those 17 names I'll read out to you now before I return to the statement. Sergio Garcia, Taylor Gooch, Brandon Grace, Dustin Johnson, Matt Jones, Martin Keimer, Graham McDowell, Phil Mickelson, Kevin Na, Andy Ogletree, Louis Oosthuizen, Turk Pettit, Ian Poulter, Charles Schwartzel, Hudson Swafford, Peter Uihlein and Lee Westwood. And there are asterisks next to some of those players' names, and those are the players who have already informed the PGA Tour that they have resigned their membership. The only players that are not asterisked on this statement are Taylor Gooch, Matt Jones, Phil Mickelson, Andy Ogletree, Ian Poulter, Hudson Swafford and Peter Uihlein. Phil Mickelson saying yesterday that he has lifetime membership of the PGA Tour. He doesn't see why he should have to resign his membership. Well, the statement goes on that those players who have resigned will be removed from the FedEx Cup points list. And the statement then says, you probably have more questions. What's next? Can these players come back? Can they eventually play PGA Tour champions? Trust me that we're prepared to deal with those questions and we'll approach them in the same way we have this entire process, by being transparent and respecting the PGA Tour regulations that you helped establish. These players have made their choice for their own financial-based reasons, but they can't demand the same PGA Tour membership benefits, considerations, opportunities and platform as you. That expectation disrespects you, our fans and our partners. You have made a different choice, which is to abide by the tournament regulations you agreed to when you accomplished the dream of earning a PGA Tour card, and more importantly, to compete as part of the preeminent organisation in the world of professional golf. It carries on. I'm certain our fans and partners, who are surely tired of all this talk of money, money and more money, will continue to be entertained and compelled by the world-class competition you display each week and every week, where there are true consequences for every shot you take and your rightful place in history whenever you reach that elusive winner's circle. You are the PGA Tour. Remember, this is addressed to the players, and this moment is about what we stand for, the PGA Tour membership as a whole. It's about lifting up those who choose to not only benefit from the Tour, but who also play an integral role in building it. I know you are with us, and vice versa. Our partners are with us too. The fact that your former Tour colleagues can't say the same should be telling. It finishes with those legacies, the PGA Tour's legacies built by the likes of Jack and Arnie, further by Tiger and countless others. Those legacies are inextricably linked with each other and with the PGA Tour. This collective legacy cannot be bought or sold. There's been some criticism of the PGA Tour Commissioner, Jay Monahan, and he's been pretty silent over the last few months and hasn't really responded. Well, now that a first ball has been struck in this LIV Golf Series, he has responded, and it's a fairly strong response.
Oh, it is fairly strong, like you say. I mean, he does say all sorts of things. You know, the fact that they say that there's questions that are unanswered means, to me, this is unfinished business for the PGA Tour. I want to take you back to the 7 asterisk players, though. Should they have anticipated this, do you think, Jamie?
Well, those players will be surrounded by managers and agents. They will have expensive lawyers who will no doubt have pored over the PGA Tour regulations, and they clearly feel that they have a case to keep their PGA Tour card, to continue playing on the PGA Tour. We saw in that fascinating box office Phil Mickelson press conference yesterday at Centurion that he has lifetime membership of the PGA Tour because he's won 46 times in it, and he feels he shouldn't have to give up his PGA Tour membership. Well, the PGA Tour saying, as things stand, you will not be playing on the PGA Tour. Look, there was an expectation that all of this would eventually get very ugly and end up in the courts, and I think that is what we can expect now to be the case.
Yeah. Absolutely, I was going to say that. This feels hugely significant, doesn't it? You know, the PGA Tour are not mucking around on this.
No, they're absolutely not. The PGA Tour know that they're in a very difficult position now. This is a seismic moment in the world of professional golf. There are a lot of players taking place in this tournament in Centurion this week, and I am fully aware that there are a lot of players waiting in the wings just to see how it goes as well. You have to almost begrudgingly respect the players who are playing this week because they put their necks in the line. They're taking the bullets for the rest of their fellow pros. Those waiting in the wings are the real cowards, if you like. They're waiting to see how this first tournament goes before then they decide to jump ship. Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Reed have already been confirmed as two players who will be playing in the next event at Portland in Oregon in just a few weeks' time, and there will be more that will follow. You can be sure of that. The money is just too much of an incentive for some of these players as well. So the PGA Tour need to get out in front of this. They need to get out in front of it fast, and that's what they've done. They've waited until a ball has been struck this afternoon. They've responded in a fairly strong manner, saying that you are no longer welcome on the PGA Tour. We have consulted our regulations. We're confident that our regulations allow us to do this. Greg Norman, the CEO of LIV Golf, feels differently. He feels that golfers are independent contractors. They should be allowed to play where they want. You can guarantee that this is going to get increasingly bitter. There's going to be mudslinging from both sides. And I said the game of golf is going to be dragged into the courts. Yeah,
absolutely. Look, we haven't got long, but I do want to get you on a couple of things. Are they cutting their nose off to spite their face here? Could we have real issues in terms of not seeing great players playing at majors?
Well, there's certainly an element of that. I mean, I think that Jay Monahan and the PGA Tour will be very confident that the biggest players, their real golden geese, are still very much in their camp. Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, those big box office players, the players that people tune in to watch in their television every weekend, are still very much on the PGA Tour side and have been very vociferous with their support of the PGA Tour as well. But these rebels are clearly no longer welcome on the PGA Tour. Players clearly talk to each other as well, and these players are friends. You know, a lot of them will be Ryder Cup teammates of years gone by as well. So I think a lot of players have lost a lot of respect for their fellow colleagues over recent weeks and how they've behaved. This is now, you know, another further step down the line. We also wait with bated breath to see how the DP World Tour respond as well. Now, they're not in as strong a position as the PGA Tour. Keith Pelley, their CEO, is in a difficult position in the fact that a few years ago he cozied up to the Saudis in the first place. He took the European Tour to the Saudi international event, so he can't really claim any moral high ground in terms of an ethical point of view, a human rights point of view, because he took it to Saudi Arabia in the first place, and their bylaws aren't as set in stone as the PGA Tours are as well. So still no response from the DP World Tour, but we're left in no doubt whatsoever as to what the PGA Tour's response is. Now, let's see what Greg Norman has to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just finally, as I said, we are getting close to the top of the hour. But Will, do you think that you know, you said that they won't have, the DP Tour don't have as much kind of sanctions potentially as the PGA Tour, but will this give them a bit of a verve, do you think? Because obviously we've not heard from them yet, and I know they're busy at the moment with the Canadian Open as well, but interesting to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, well, the DP World Tour, we've seen the strategic alliance between the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour. That's only going to get stronger over the next couple of years as we move, I think, inevitably towards more of a world tour, more of a relationship between those two tours. The PGA Tour and what was the European Tour used to be two very separate entities. Well, now they have these co-sanctioned events. We may well see that the end game for the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour is to have, you know, two events every weekend with the better players playing in one and the lesser players, no disrespect them, playing in another. But look, Vicky, it is a fascinating time in the world of golf. This statement is pretty strong. I think it's what a lot of people expected. What will the next step be now?